Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Green Bay Area Public School Board looked at a new proposal tonight that would adjust school boundaries and close some buildings.
The district's Boundary Adjustment Advisory Committee met for the first time today to make those recommendations tonight ahead of next week's hearings on this plan, designed to get more feedback from the public. In a First Alert update, Jason Zimmerman takes a closer look at the plan and the potential timeline.
After rejecting two previous plans to consolidate and adjust boundaries, the special committee assigned to make recommendations for the Green Bay Area School District is now reviewing a third scenario.
So I feel like that makes most sense to me. I would still opt for a bigger school.
Some details of the plan include the construction of a new 700-student West Side Elementary on the Kennedy site, which would also consolidate with MacArthur and Keller. Elmore Elementary would close, with students there being split between Chapel and Lincoln. Plus, Doty and Langlade Elementary would combine, but which building closes is still up for debate. The interim district superintendent says this plan is less extensive than the previous two.
It's very pared down. This one does not include the K-8s, which was part of the original proposal. The impact on the number of schools is a lot smaller than the original plan.
On May 7th, two public presentations on the boundary changes will take place at the Neville Public Museum at 12:15 and 6 in the evening. On the same day, the district will offer a feedback survey on its website.
This is all part of the process. It's putting together a plan, an initial plan with the committee based on the task force recommendations, and then tweaking it and bringing it to the community to get feedback.
The plan will go before the entire school board for a vote in June if passed. The changes that require funding will be tied to a referendum in November the district hopes to have on the ballot. Reporting in Green Bay, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.